Athlete's foot, also known as tinea pedis, is a fungal infection that frequently starts in between the toes. It's very common in people who have very sweaty feet and they keep them in tight, dark, and damp environments for long periods of time, such as athletes, where the infection gets its name from. It commonly presents as a flaky rash on the feet that's very itchy, and that may also burn and sting. Athlete's foot is very contagious, and it can spread via physical touch. The condition is highly related to jock itch and ringworm, other fungal infections, and they can be treated with common over-the-counter antifungals, such as Lamisil or Lotrimin, but the infection often returns. The infection frequently presents as a scaly red rash on the feet along with blisters and ulcers. The rash commonly occurs in between the toes, usually on the toe webs between the 4th and 5th toes. The rashes are often very itchy, usually the worst right after taking off your shoes and socks. The infection causes extreme drying of the skin, and it can even extend up the foot to the ankle. It may be misdiagnosed as eczema or just general dry skin, and the infection can spread to both feet along with your hands if you pick and scratch the infected sites. You should see a doctor if the rash doesn't resolve itself with self-treatment such as lotions or creams. If you have diabetes, you will commonly already have damage to your feet, so you should see your doctor if you suspect athlete's foot, such as redness and swelling. Athlete's foot, jock itch, and ringworm are all caused by the same type of fungus, a combination of trichophyton, epidermophyton, and microsporum. So if you have one infection, you should be careful to not spread it via contact to your other body regions. The fungus that causes athlete's foot thrives in dark, damp, humid, and tight environments. So you should not wear damp socks or shoes and keep your feet out of warm and humid conditions. The fungus is highly contagious and can spread by contact. You should not share stuff with people that are infected, such as towels, shoes, or socks, and avoid the contaminated surfaces. You are at a higher risk if you are a male, along with commonly wearing damp socks or tightly fitted shoes. You are also at a higher risk if you come into contact with contaminated surfaces, such as mats, carpets, towels, bed linens, clothing, or shoes. Another risk factor is walking around barefoot in public or humid areas, such as communal baths or showers, saunas, and locker rooms. Athlete's foot can spread to other parts of the body, including your hands. If you scratch or pick at your infected feet, a similar infection can develop on your hand. It can also spread to your nails. It can develop around or even underneath the nail, making them very difficult to treat. Finally, it can also spread to your groin, known as jock. To prevent infection by this type of fungus, you should keep your feet dry, most importantly between your toes. It is a good idea to go barefoot when you get home to let your feet breathe, and to dry in between your toes after bathing. You should also change your socks regularly. You should carry an extra pair of socks in case they get wet or if your feet sweat. Another prevention tactic is to wear light, loose-fitted and ventilated shoes. Avoid tight-fitting shoes or shoes that are made out of synthetic materials such as rubber. You should also have an alternative pair of shoes so your shoes can dry after each use. You must protect your feet in public places. Don't walk around barefoot. It's also imperative to care for your feet. Use antifungal creams or powders as prescribed if you think you have athlete's foot. And lastly, don't share shoes, as this increases the risk of spreading the infection, along with not sharing towels or contaminated surfaces.